Oh, goodness, this is, the date that's on this, 2000 and, where are we? 2025. It's the last day of, August. Well, that means the last day of winter, I think. Technically, here in New Zealand, according to what the state proclaims. I'm so impressed with this person that's recorded the previous recording. Me, supposedly, 5 years ago. I hesitate to say this, but he seems a better, clearer thinking man than the one I am now. I'm pretty sure I'd follow him. That's dangerous, isn't it? You're not supposed to have gurus. I felt refreshed having heard it. As if I'm looking at myself from somewhere else. Well, I am 5 years further on. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, very nice. You could say, oh, you're just madly in love with yourself, Marshall, but, well, yeah. I'm sorry, Mum gave me I'm not sorry. Mum gave me an incredible ego. So, indomitable self. Dad had it and Mum had it. They were murderous to each other. No wonder how heaven is conceived of as being full of all these humble drones. Anything else causes permanent state of war. Oh dear. I seem to have to revise. Look, the lesson of this story is, presumably if anyone listened to this man of the last recording that I've got here, part A, they might be tempted to think, oh, this is the way to go. But look how it ended up for Marshall. You sure you want to go this way? I mean, he's pretty off the planet. Perhaps he was pretty off the planet then too. I pray not for the world. What? Can I have a Jesus that's not willing to pray for the world? But for those whom thou hast given me, those who now have ears to hear, because of the life they've experienced here, and are so ready to hear you, Heavenly Dad. The rest, well, they'll stay in something like here for as long as it takes. But God's in charge of the show. We just have a desire to trust that He'll do it the best way. Love you, Heavenly Dad. When all's said and done, a lot more is said than done. And Marshall's, I worked out yesterday, 4.3 thousand recordings I've published. And I've got, as you can see, another good few hundred that have not been published, including the one that's just before this. Yeah. Gosh, it's enlightening to listen to myself of some years back. Again, it furnishes this uncertainty, doesn't it? What I was thinking then, notice how I use the word father instead of dad. Notice too how I take myself to be religious instead of all religion is of the world, really, so contaminated by the world systems and view of things. And yet to see from my narrow point of view the roots of what I think now is also incredibly encouraging to me. That hang on, are there threads back here in part A of this? Is it that there are threads that I've lost and I should take up again and will strengthen or redirect and improve my present so-called understanding of things? See what a blessing uncertainty is. It ever reveals to you in the imagination, of course, incredible unfolding possibilities that may be there and you move into. But to get back from it, yes, God is allowing uncertainty as a blessing, else it would not be here. And perhaps it's more than that. It's more the very nature of life, and if you value life eternal, although you've not much more idea of that than the notion of God. Because all of this is in dimensions that we're in the perhaps in the simplicity of dimensions. Time, space, and matter, and so on. And progression through time. And perhaps reality is not that. It's more dimensions, or even, in some sense, different dimensions. And that's what really is. That's what's true life, and that's what God truly is. And we can only have a child's simplicity of thought and understanding that's appropriate for the world in which the child is. Mum and Dad are safe, do what they say. If you're in trouble, get to them fast. They can deal with it. Don't do things when they're not around that you think they wouldn't want you doing, because you may get into terrible difficulties that you need their assistance immediately, and perhaps it wouldn't be there. You're protected by these simplistic value systems that you have. They're not to be torn down. It's not that I'm to get hold of this person's religion and clean it up and bring in something much better. And to look and to watch and see what God's doing. And yes, if he presents me with something where it seems very good and possible and acceptable, harmonious, godly, I can do it. I can help with the washing up. I can help with the garden. I can help with the shopping. I can even help Mum when she's not well and be a blessing, get her a cup of tea and her pills, whatever they are. I don't mean she was a junkie. Actually, she got pretty addicted to painkillers, I think. I think that may have been what killed her. In the end, the trouble with her legs, the pains and leg ulcers and so on, varicose veins that were far advanced in that sense, deteriorated. I think she may have just overdone, and possibly slightly consciously overdone. She may have died of a suicide case. Don't go down that road, dear one. She hated Dad for 20 or 30 years after his death. To her death, in fact, as far as I know. Alone, even her son couldn't live with her, or she couldn't live with her son anyway. She chose not to. I didn't push too hard because it wasn't at all clear I could cope with it. And in hindsight, I'm certain I couldn't have coped with it, really. She became a nightmare, poor soul. Doesn't mean so I don't love her very much, of course. I do. Goodness, my eyes are watering. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. And I do mean Heavenly Dad, I'm not talking about earthly Dad, although even him I see in a totally different light now, by the grace and the goodness and the love of God.